You've been really wondering about this relationship, and it just seems like this relationship keeps going around in circles. You've been putting all the effort, they haven't put anything. If this is you, there's an important message. Keep listening. Now, the first thing to do is stop blaming yourself. You did not say, you did not do anything. You are who you are. And the thing is that every time you get into this conversation where this relationship is headed, or why aren't they putting any effort, it seems like it's always you. You seem to go back to this pattern. And this certain pattern is something that has been following you for a long time with this relationship. And maybe there's other relationships that you've had this similar experience. There's insecurity. And you know what? Because of the insecurity that you carry on with you, you're the one that has been holding on to something. And maybe they have as well, because it just seems like there's two energies that are colliding. And you know what? When they seem to be ghosting you, and it seems like you're always doing the chasing, because runner, chaser, stages, however you want to label this relationship, you're definitely in a pattern that you're not happy with. And neither are they, actually, because there's a reason. Everybody wants to be happy. Let's face it. Everybody wants a good relationship where they can feel confident, where they can feel like, hey, this is my person. But when there's some type of insecurity can play a big role in how they come together, how they make it work, and just making things happen in the relationship solid. Sometimes you're even very codependent. Okay, this card is showing there's a bit of codependency. Now, codependency is not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. So if you're always latching on to this person, or they're latching on to you, and you just feel like, hey, we have to talk, we have to do something about our relationship, because it's just not going to go anywhere if I'm always looking for you. Maybe they're blowing up your phone, you're blowing up their phone, maybe you're watching everything that they do on social media, or maybe they're doing it to you. Maybe you guys are both doing it to each other, because you both have this insecurity. Look, we have insecurity and codependency. I feel like this is a major message for somebody. And you know what? Because it's a message, you have to really work on it. That, like a lot of people ask me, what do I have to work on in order for me to be better for myself? Well, maybe that's what it is. I'm not here to tell anybody what they need to work on, or what they should be working on, because it's all about a transformation inside you. You know what? We all transform. Yeah, we all transform. And when we go through it, it's more of like, it's scary. Like, look at this card. Yeah, like, you have to like get down to the nitty gritty of it all. There's some shadows, there's some negativity. Yeah, maybe there is some things that you just don't want to go to. And you know what? And maybe it's past trauma, that you've been holding on to. Hey, I'm not here to judge, and I'm not telling you that you shouldn't have all these things. But there's a strength also inside of you that you have to just grab that part of yourself. So as you transform, there is a strength. And that strength is what's going to carry you through the relationship. It could be a lot to do with what they're going through, and it's being reflected. And all you do is get insecure about the relationship and wonder, what did I do wrong? And you know what? Don't do that no more, because it's just making things worse, and it's not even helping you to find who you are and where you're supposed to be at with this relationship, because it takes two to tango. And you know what? If one is constantly, questioning and wondering, and just not having that sense of, like stability in a relationship, it's never going to work. I don't care how much love there is, it's just not the time for the relationship to move forward. And just like this card says, confidence. Having confidence in your relationship is the key. Yeah, you want to make the relationship go to the next level. You really want love in your relationship. You really want this person to understand you, but they're never going to understand you if it's always being brought out that you have to put the effort, you have to put that energy out to make this relationship move. Maybe you're the one that's always having to say, hey, let's get together. And they always are leaving you to the point where they're vulnerable to say, no, you know what? I'm going somewhere. I can't. But can I have a rain check? Oh, you might like cringe inside, and your heart just breaks, because it took so much courage, so much to ask you, that person, not you, but ask that person, let's get together. And then they let you down. And if that's you, then there is something there that you're trying to work on. Have faith. Faith into what your heart is saying. Faith into what you believe in. Because when you have faith and confidence, you know what? You're going to know that, hey, maybe this relationship is not what I thought it was, and maybe I need to focus on me and let them do the chasing. When they do the chasing, it's like, I'm old-fashioned. Yeah, I'm old-fashioned, guys. And you know what? I always felt that, when it comes to a relationship, it's good for the dominance to be coming from the masculine side, and the masculine side to look for the feminine side. It's just maybe the old-fashionedness. It doesn't matter what gender. It's just, masculine and feminine. Divine masculine. Let's call it divine masculine, divine feminine. And maybe you run both. Maybe you have to entice the masculine. We know how to flirt. Feminines, we know how to flirt. And men, masculine. I don't want to say gender. I'm just going to say masculine and feminine. They know how to flirt with each other. So we're not going to go into that, but we're going to talk about just finding who you are and just be you. But stop chasing. Okay, there we go. We're going to end it from there. Stop chasing. Stop putting all the effort that you have to do it. If you don't, this person is going to leave you. That's called codependency. We don't want that. No, codependency is never, never a good thing. Okay. So if this is you, I advise you to get a little longer reading and find out a little bit more on what that is for you, because there is something there. If this resonated with you, take what feels right and leave what doesn't, or revisit this video. So until next time, God be with you all. Namaste.